Good morning, folks. Sam Lee, the Pit Village Trader, and it is good to be back. It's been a while since the last one, and an opportunity has presented itself today that has made me think possibly I should come back on here and tell you what's going on. I have not really moved any assets around other than cryptocurrency for the last, I don't know, maybe 6 months. We've just bought some land, and we've been investing in skills, tools, and infrastructure on that land to secure our future. And I hope you've been fortunate enough to do the same. Having said that, just 2 weeks ago, we sold our shares in Airtel Africa, which we'd been holding for quite some time now, probably about a year, I think, across junior ISAs. So I've got some cash sitting in the bank right now. We sold about here. I'll be honest, I think I quite nailed that one. So we have some cash sitting in the bank. Not very keen to invest in many other equities, I'll be completely honest, because I am not confident that the economic recovery, the economic situation is all it's cracked up to be right now. However, the money is in ISAs, so it is locked away. It's in junior ISAs and the money's locked away. So I have to do something with it because the ISAs aren't actually paying anything on cash balances. All right, so we've been through this before. I've not checked the markets today, but let's have a little look. So I'm looking for some shares. The purpose of this video is to identify some shares that might be good ones for you to get into right about now. So the first thing I always do is I come to hargreaveslansdown.co.uk because I stick within the UK market primarily because that's where I am, and it's just familiarity. It's what has worked for me. And I quickly click on shares, and that brings me to this page here. Right down here, you will see a list of all of the markets in the UK, and I check to see which market is moving the most today. And as I always say, I like the FTSE 250. You know, it's my stomping ground. That one is the one that's moving the most today, which shows me that sentiment is highest for the stocks in that marketplace. The other one is the FTSE AIM 100, but I think I'm going to stick with the 250. So this is today, and you'll see here we're at an I don't know if it's an all-time high, but we're at an all-time high. So sentiment, opinion, emotions, hope, faith, and greed is all tied up in this market, more so than it ever has been before right now. And whilst that is definitely an indication to be cautious, I am also of the opinion you should just follow the smart money. The smart money appears to be here. If I were a sensible man, and I am, I may consider just holding out for the next dip. I'm just going to reduce this down to 6 months. So we're right here, we're trading at highs at the moment, but here would have been a fantastic time to get in, which we've discussed. You know, we discussed this back 6 months ago. I mean, here is when we were talking about doing stuff as well. So, you know, we've been on it. So I am cautious where I am here, but I'm exploring all opportunities. So let's see what I would be potentially interested in today if I was to invest in some stocks and shares. As usual, I always check the risers. Okay, now let's see what's moving today. And I like to invest personally on shares that are between, 100 and 400 points per share, pence per share. So an indication would be Rank Group, Wood Group, Virgin Money, Restaurant Group, Marks and Spencer Group, Dixon's Carphone, TUI, and various other things. I mean, look at this, it's up 3%. This one here is a big one. That's too high. It's too high a move for me at the moment. Percentage-wise, Cineworld Group, big jump for Cineworld Group. Let's have a look at that. I mean, how do you feel about cinemas in general? Are they going to be, will they return? Will they return? What if we go into another lockdown this winter? How will Cineworld cover itself? I don't think Cineworld is a good option for me. The long-term trend over 3 years is down. So even before COVID, the trend was down in Cityworld. So you might get some short-term gains, but it's not really an investment, a long-term investment. Rank Group. All right, it's a bit better. I mean, long-term trend is up. We're having a little bit of a 6-monthly dip right now. Well, not too much difference, to be fair. I mean, it's about the same. Huge increase there back in 2020. So that's February 2020. So that's before we shut down, before we locked down. Interesting. Doing very well before the lockdown. Lockdown happens, bump. And then slowly increasing since then. That's possibly interesting. You can see there why that's interesting also. And I always advocate not reading the news. 25th of August, that is today. Okay, HMRC backs down on VAT case. That could be why. Well, that is definitely why that is moving today. But then does that lend itself to, getting involved here? We're at a low point here. So this would be an option. I would put Rank Group down as a possible candidate. Okay, Wood Group, what's going on there? 3.5%. The annual trend is down. However, the short-term trend is up. So sentiment in here, April, May, June-ish, since I would think June, has been positive. That's interesting. Long-term trend is down over 5 years, but we appear since the end of 2019 to be in an upward trend. But this is going to be slow moving. I think this might be slow moving. However, it represents a good ISA investment, which is what I am actually looking for. So that's also a possibility. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind for sure. Dividend 2019, are we declaring a dividend this year? I don't know. All right, that's an interesting one. I think there might be something in that because that's quite strong sentiment. It's quite a change as well, isn't it? From early this year, it's quite strong or weak sentiment down. But this it's risen quite quickly from here. So I mean, keeping it simple as always, this looks like an interesting investment. Something's changing with this company at the moment. Sentiment is changing. So that's one to keep in mind. Virgin Money, what's going on there? I'm not a fan of any of the banks, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of that whole thing. The whole thing is due a shake-up. It's due a crash, if I'm honest. The whole thing, it's crashing. It's going to come down. Sentiment is very strong, although we seem to have not really done much since, for the last year. Beginning of the year, yeah, very strong trend. How are we looking longer term? And I always say look longer term. Yeah, I think, there's something in there. There's something in there. But not really an industry that I enjoy being in. So I think I'll stay away from that. Where else have we got? Helios Towers, is that property? I'm not too keen on property at the moment neither. Unless it's your property that you're buying and it's, out the way somewhere. Drax Group, that's powered and they're doing... they shifted to renewables. Renewables is going to be a thing. For sure, renewables is going to be a thing because that is part of what's being pushed. Yeah, the last year sentiment is very strong. This looks like a comfortable place to get in this. Yeah, strong sentiment over the last year and a half. That's interesting. 4% dividend yield. So as an ISA investment, if you want to hold them through the next payout, might be interesting. Interim, and the ex-dividend date is tomorrow. 7.5 pence. That's very interesting. So today's the 25th. If I was to buy those shares today at what looks to me like a dip off recent highs, and hold them until tomorrow, I would actually get the dividend payment of 7.5 pence per share. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy probably a reasonable amount of these. This means the usual market size, 5,000 shares. If you're trying to buy more than 5,000 shares in a single transaction, you might struggle to get the price that's advertised. So maybe try and keep it to that amount of units bought. Yes, so that's my assessment done for the day. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to jump on this, despite the fact that the company has made a loss of 234 million in the last year. I'm still going to do this, and I'm going to hold through tomorrow and probably hold it for the next 3 to 6 months, I would think, to see how we go for there. What's the last piece of news? Drax Group raises interim dividend following great first half of the year. Yeah, okay, whatever. As I say, I don't follow the news. I look at the charts. I follow price action, and this to me, I'm interested in here, and I'm going to get in. So yeah, we're going to get in this, and I will share with you. So that is the extent of my assessment. It's the extent of how I look for shares. You've just seen me in real time choosing a share to buy. It's about my limit. I wouldn't tend to go more. Invest in anything that had a higher value than 424 pence, which is where this is. So yeah, it's about my limit. Other things then, unfortunately, I am locked into ISAs here. I can't take the money out of the ISA, so I have to be in equity markets if I have any chance of a return, because the ISA's not paying anything. If you have capital and free cash, please buy land, buy cryptocurrency. Land is a long-term investment, 5+ years, 10+ years even. Cryptocurrency, very short term, I reckon 2 years max with cryptocurrency. Keep that in mind. Full extent and idea to be out of cryptocurrency within the next couple of years. If you own property, I think now would be a good time to sell property. We own our own house, and I am seriously considering putting it on the market and just renting somewhere for a few years and riding out what happens in the markets, because I do feel very strongly that sentiment is very shaky at the moment. So yeah, those are things going on now. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is making money. I hope you're managing to reimagine your life and take charge of the things that are going on in your life so that you can protect yourself and your family with the investments and gambles that you take. Spread betting wise, I've not done a lot of that lately, although the last email that I sent out, I recommended NCC Group. I think I did actually place a spread bet on that, and I think I made like 350 quid. It was a small bet, so it wasn't really that much of a risk, to be honest. I still hold from over a year ago shares spread betting positions in Petropavlovsk, and I've lost about £2,000 on that position right now. And it was always a gamble. I said at the time it was a gamble, and it was a long-term play. It was much more suitable to be held within an ISA. But I thought, you know what, let's just have a gamble in spread betting. That's what we all do it for. You know, when we get down to the psychology of the reasons why, we like to speculate. And that is the reason why. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you're all doing amazing, and I hope you're all making a load of money, and I hope your life is just changing. I hope your life is changing in a positive way as a means to ride out what feels like a very, very scary storm. And I genuinely think we are just around the corner from a pretty dire situation. So please be sensible and play the game, be happy and trade well, and I will see you next time. Cheers.